2:01 a.m., my husband says, "Your phone's ringing." And when I answered, the guy on the other end said, "We have a major fire out here and we need a representative."
It sounded as if the church was burning to the ground, a total loss, and I thought, that can't be.
The first thing I could see were fire trucks blocking the street and all the lights flashing and everything. And I could see people gathered. Mother Trish was there. I could make out that, I think Mother Lynn Hooks was there. She used to be the religion teacher here. She's at St. James now, and I could see that the bishop was there.
What I was so struck by when I first got there was that gathered there were the people of St. Luke's to bear witness to that moment and to support each other. And we stood together and we prayed and we held all of that together in that moment.
It was a powerful experience, and that kind of thing just happened throughout the rest of the morning as people continued to just kind of show up.
So as the sun came up, the street in front of the church was blocked off, and you just had a large gathering of people that the school had impacted or the church had impacted. You know, people who you have long history with and some people that maybe you don't know. One of the men that I'll remember talking to that day he's a fire chief in another city here, and his kids went to school here. Big, tall, burly man, and to see him break down in tears at a place where he holds so many memories is one of those touching but tough moments to witness.
It felt like an eternity, that first Saturday. It was very spiritually, emotionally, and physically exhausting in a lot of ways. But in a weird way too, it was also, in the midst of the grief, just this real sense of, we're going to be okay. This is going to be okay. Going into that first Sunday morning after the fire, having to move everything into a middle school gym. We got it set up and, having 400 to 500 people there. It's a huge crowd. It was an extraordinary experience.
Father Brian delivered one of the best sermons I've ever heard. The crowds that were there, we had close to 400, and the support that we had physically, emotionally, prayerfully by that time was very evident. The processional cross had been partially melted and distorted, and one funny thing I remember, our MC, Jim Thompson, asked the bishop if Brian could have permission to be the crucifer and to carry that cross in. And the bishop looked at him and looked at Brian and said, "Brian can do whatever Brian wants to do."
That processional cross was one of the ones that we used a lot. And as soon as I saw it, I knew this is the symbol. This is us. This is who we are. We've been through the fires of hell, and it has bent us, it has warped us, but it has not broken us. And so I knew I had to have that cross for people to see it, but also to use it as part of the sermon. Using that cross as the symbol of us, that, this is what's happened to us, but we're still here. And this is still a symbol of resurrection.
When we went to that first church service in the gym, I cried. It was a very, very, very overwhelming experience. And I'm gonna cry now thinking about it, because Father Brian walked out with the cross that was, and we still use it for chapel now even, and it was so heavy, but almost a delight, because God saved that for us. It's like, you went through it, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. Here's a memory, you're gonna push through.
Going into the summer, we formed a building committee. It's a small group of people of varying ages, different constituencies within the congregation, some of whom, not all, one of whom in particular is an architect, so that helps, but others who have some experience with these sorts of things. Some who don't really, but have deep roots here. And so, working with them, we interviewed several qualified architectural firms and ended up hiring Hoffpower Studio here in Baton Rouge. They've worked on like 150 churches, mostly Roman Catholic, which is closer to what we're, in terms of space for liturgy and sacraments. They understand that, so it's closer to what we're aiming for, and had several good meetings with them. But they're kind of starting out with several thousand feet, just big picture kind of brainstorming with what we could do out in this space. And we're going to begin narrowing that down to perhaps a couple of visions that we can then take into some focus groups to continue getting feedback and fine-tuning things. And part of what's exciting to me about it, as much as I wish this had never happened, it's an amazing opportunity to build something new and beautiful for many, many future generations. Not many people get to be a part of something like that, and that's true for everybody in the school and the church. So it's a really exciting time right now to be a part of something that is going to, from the ground up, create something new that still feels like St. Luke's, but in a new way.